Thank you, Scott. And as you might well imagine, as promised, Galveston had to deal with the brunt of Hurricane Ike first.
Yep, Texas City. We're going to go out to Rudy Koski live for us this morning. He's got the latest, and they were riding out this storm. Rudy?
Good morning from a very windy and wet Texas City. You can see that Hurricane Ike is very well inland now. The conditions that we're seeing right now at this hour are much better than what we saw 3, 4, 5 hours ago as the hurricane was making landfall. It is starting to lighten up now. Daybreak here on the Texas coast. That means search and recovery missions will begin. But first, late last night, we went out into the teeth of the storm. Part of the roof at the Hampton Inn in Texas City peeled back, forcing guests out of their rooms. Rhonda Meadows, with her 2 dogs, had already fled her home in Lamar.
Where am I going to go? They're talking about evacuating the building. I don't have a car.
Just to the west, in Santa Fe, this gas station awning was bent and twisted. Store signs were torn down as the storm intensified. Shelter was hard to find, even for this flock of birds. And dangers hung in the darkness. Watch as this SUV almost hits this broken traffic signal.
It's coming up on 11 o'clock, and the eye wall is starting to make landfall.
Fires broke out, a cruel twist during this storm. Firefighters climbing onto the roof of this Mall of the Mainland restaurant. There were other fires, some small, others large.
It's a little bit after 1:30 Saturday morning, and the full force of Ike is now hitting Texas City.
As floodwaters surged inland, authorities were inundated with calls for help. Some rescues were pulled off, but many other calls have to go unanswered until the storm passes. Now, even though that these conditions look really bad, actually I got to tell you that they have dramatically improved since about 4 or 5 hours ago. As we get into the light, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, search and rescue missions will start daybreak, especially down along Galveston, the west end of Galveston. A lot of people didn't come out yesterday, and so now the search and recovery missions will begin. We understand there were several fires down on the west end also, where one fire jumped to one house to another to another. So we're not quite sure what we're going to see when we get down there. It may be at least another 5 hours before we get down.